just to see Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen on screen again, phenomenal. I love the kind of redemption era that we're in with actors and roles right now, and a part of me does want a season two to see more, even if it's just not them together, like flashbacks of each of their characters. But another part of me says, okay, enough is enough. Let's have some new content following some new characters.
Yeah. So let's get into it, right? Season two, both Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor are saying they want a season two of Obi-Wan. What do you think of that?
So, like I just said, I think a part of me wants it. Part of me wants to see more of this. But there's another part of me that says they can't really go anywhere else with the story, at least not together. Now, Obi-Wan did allude to he thinks he had a brother during the episode where him and Leia are kind of riding on the tram with the stormtroopers and the alien that's subservient to the Empire. He mentions that he thinks he had a brother, so they could go somewhere with that potentially. They could have Obi-Wan getting a little bit more involved with the Rebel Alliance because it's alluded in A New Hope that he was a little more involved than anyone really previously thought. So they could explore that a little bit, but if they keep having Vader and him meet and having battles, that's going to get old fast, and it's going to get really tricky canonically to say, oh yeah, they have really crazy epic battles, but somehow one of them just leaves the other alive every time. It's just going to get a little tricky.
Yeah, I will say I'm not 100% against the season two. I want them to put a lot more effort in this time into the story, into really developing a story that makes it feel like a series and not just a movie, which hopefully it would, right? If they're developing it for season two, then they're now thinking of it as a series, where I think this was originally intended to be a movie and became a series. But I agree, I do not want to see this time period Obi-Wan with this time period Vader. I wouldn't mind if they want to involve Hayden Christensen, which I'm not against. They do something to the effect of like an Arrow, where you have two stories happening that are have very similar themes. Now they need to do better with it than they did in Book of Boba Fett, because the whole two timelines is perfectly fine as long as your stories are driving home the same point narratively and character wise. And I think they could do that where you have flashbacks to maybe the Clone Wars or something with the two of them together, and then current day where Obi-Wan is by himself. But I just don't think I don't want another this. Like I don't want it just again.
I would agree with that for sure. It would be very difficult for them to justify just rehashing the same things that this one did. Now, honestly, I think the budget would have to be way bigger, especially if they're going to try and bring back Qui-Gon Jinn for more than just a quick cameo. While very short, was still awesome. I had thought that we were only going to get his voice. That scene where Obi-Wan is contemplating, like, hey, I might have to go and kill Anakin right now. He like kind of reaches out and says, you know, what do I do, Master? I have to face him. And I thought right then was when we were going to have Liam Neeson's voice just kind of ethereally drift out to him. But seeing him at the end of the season, I was like, that's amazing. It's not what I was hoping for. It went beyond, even though it was just such a brief moment. But that's another avenue they could explore. So mentioned it before, but in the novel Kenobi, which I guess is now legend, Obi-Wan is on Tatooine, doesn't come into contact with Vader, but he's in hiding, and he has to make tough choices about whether to help people out or not. Kind of gets involved with this town that is terrorized by creatures, and eventually there's a threat from a crate dragon, which, you know, if you're a Star Wars fan, you've seen in The Mandalorian, and you know how deadly a crate dragon can be, but there's an epic, crazy part of that book where Obi-Wan faces a crate dragon alone with nothing but a lightsaber. And if they have that in a season two, I'll watch it just for that.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Right. Thank you for listening to Age of the Geek.